Every year, Forbes releases a list of the wealthiest individuals on the planet. Although some names on the list tend to hop back and forth in the rankings, some names are consistently on the list year after year. Some of these names may have a familiar ring to you, such as Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett, to name a few. And yes, most of the listed persons also have side business ventures that add to their wealth. For today's topic, we will be talking about where billionaires keep their money, so hopefully you'll be able to pick up a thing or two and apply it to your life as well, if it's applicable. But before we discuss it any further, please give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on so you don't miss any of our new releases. Now, where do billionaires keep their money anyway? They don't, as they don't keep it in one place. They diversify. What this means is that they don't keep all their money stocked up in a single place, like in the bank. They put it out there, investing and acquiring assets that will benefit them in the long run. Like what the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, said, "If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die." Although they still save their money in one or more bank accounts, the majority of them keep the cash flowing in some of these items below. Number 1, stocks. Number 2, funds. And number 3, real estate. If you're going to be listed on Forbes' list of wealthiest individuals, then you might want to hang around to learn more. Billionaires are dedicated to protecting, maintaining, and growing their wealth. Because of inflation, they need to keep their cash flow going, or else all of their wealth will fizzle out. Unlike common people who are more in tune with liquid assets, their assets are in a different league. For those of you who aren't familiar with the term, liquid assets are your own that you can quickly and simply be converted into cash while retaining its market value, such as cash and checkings or savings account. Bill Gates, at one point in his life, admitted to carrying a single crisp $100 in his wallet. The follow-up question from the Inquirer to Gates would then ask, "Can I have $1 million?" To which he strategically answers that he donates the bulk of his money to needy causes, and also he admits that he rarely carries cash with him when he goes out. And like we said, their assets are in a much bigger league compared to the common folk, such as the ones we listed before. We will be discussing in particular stocks. It is a well-known fact that almost all billionaires buy and invest in stocks. The Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, also hailed as one of the greatest investors of all time, knows more than a thing or two about investing. We know stocks can be a little bit overwhelming and intimidating at first, but then it's not something that you can't learn. Every millionaire has invested in stocks, but of course, it's only part of the equation. With stocks, the best thing to know about which ones to invest in is simple. Invest in the ones you know, Buffett once said. Never invest in a business you cannot understand. But to reiterate a bit, don't invest in things that you know you'll have difficulty comprehending as time goes by. In business, he is known as a buy and hold investor, which means that he's not interested in buying and selling stocks in the near term to realize capital gains. Instead, he chooses stocks that he sees as good prospects for long-term growth. Take for example back in 1988, when he bought $1.3 billion worth of shares in Coca-Cola. But today, that $1.3 billion is roughly equivalent to $18 billion due to inflation. Takeaway from this example is to hold it for the long run. Another example, this time from the third founder of Apple, Ronald Wayne. Wayne holds a 10% stake in the company before he sold it off for $800 years ago. If he didn't sell those, he would have had $100 billion worth of shares today. If not investing in stocks, billionaires start their own company like what Elon Musk did, establishing SpaceX and Tesla, while Bezos founded Amazon from his garage home. Of course, not everything needs to be built. Some can be purchased, like how one of the Facebook founders, Mark Zuckerberg, acquired Instagram, WhatsApp, and Oculus, to name a few. Funds. A report published in Business Insider back in 2018 tells the story of how an early retiree interviewed 100 millionaires and found that most of them built their fortune using a simple investment strategy championed by Warren Buffett. What's the strategy, you ask? Investing in low-cost index funds. As shared by a man named John on the personal finance blog ESI Money, who is a millionaire himself. Quote, "The high returns and low cost of stock index funds, I personally prefer Vanguard, as do many millionaires, are the foundation that many millionaires' wealth is built upon. Experts have expressed their agreement in investing in index funds, since they're broadly diversified, which eliminates the risk of picking up individual stocks and their low cost." Chelsea Brenna, a former hedge fund manager who managed a whopping $1.3 billion on her portfolio, also shares the same thoughts about index funds. Quote, index funds are the most straightforward, cheapest, and most likely way to see strong long-term returns, she shared in a post for Business Insider. Quote, index mutual funds offer instant diversification and guarantee returns equal to the market because they are the market, she continued. When it comes to investing, the more you can lower fees and remove human error, the more likely you are to succeed. And the cheapest and fastest way to get diversity without needing to nitpick your portfolio every day is to just own 2 or 3 low-cost index funds. Another type of fund that billionaires store money in is trust funds. Trust funds allow the user to move money outside their state, and since it's out of state, it reaps 2 benefits: fewer taxes and more privacy. By now, it's a stated fact that no savings account out there can store $1 billion. Even if it's allowed in the banks, it will suffer from enormous inflation risks. Like we said earlier, millionaires need to keep the cash flow going, since if they just store it in a bank, inflation will eat their money. Now, do you understand why most billionaires invest? There's also the option of making offshore accounts. There's nothing illegal in establishing these accounts so long as your intention is legitimate and not tax evasion. Using the services of a bank outside of your country is a well-known tactic by billionaires, where they store portions of their wealth in international bank accounts. In the past, Swiss banks have been a popular go-to offshore bank by many for evading tax and because of the European nations' financial privacy laws. Some benefits for creating offshore accounts including adding another layer of protection to your money, accessing international investments opportunities, minimize tax implications, and benefit from foreign currency exchange. Swiss banks don't even attach names to accounts. But in recent years, Switzerland agreed to turn over personal information to foreign governments. So doing shady work is a no-no from these billionaires. Gotta keep them checked. The most famous country billionaires favor to use is, of course, Switzerland, due to its asset and protection privacy. The Cayman Islands are also known for their great tax benefits. If, for example, the US falls into a state of depression but your money is stored in an offshore account, then your money is still intact. Singapore is also a good choice for a stable offshore account option. Real estate. And finally, last but not least, we have real estate. This investment has been consistently on the rise, with not only billionaires but artists and popular icons as well. Compared to funds and stocks, real estate is a safer investment among these options, since it carries less risk than the stock market, which tends to be unsteady. Through the years, real estate showed an upward trend, with the value of brick and mortar being less volatile than stocks, not to mention the fact that the wealthy are attracted to sprawling penthouses, hence the acquisitions of these assets. Then later putting it up for grabs is a common activity among them. Forbes already has a list of 2021's market trends, which they consulted on with Mickey Alam Khan, president of Luxury Portfolios International, called LPI for short. The company represents the world's leading luxury real estate brokers and is the marketing and intelligence division of the leading real estate companies of the world, the largest global network of premier locally branded firms. In the interview for Forbes conducted by Ellen Paris, he shared what he saw as the rising trends this year. With affluent consumers making health-driven lifestyle choices amid the global health situation, that will continue to shape the luxury real estate market and fuel growth as long as the inventory holds out. Demand for exclusive residential properties will continue well into 2021, even as the vaccine is widely available to large segments of the United States and global population. Seeing how people were forced to adopt a work-from-home setup, Khan saw the rise of, quote, second home markets. Coming back to the city will be difficult after you've been living in what is your second home. If you can continue to work at home in some flexible way, I see that second home becoming the permanent primary residence for those who did leave the city. The dominant trend with this affluent segment swapping their primary residences for second homes or making them co-primary is here to stay for at least another year or two until the global health situation subsides in the West and other parts of the world, he shared with Paris. With that, we're concluding today's topic of where billionaires keep their money. For more content like this, make sure to like our video and click the subscribe button so you won't miss out on any of our new releases. We will see you again next time, and thanks for watching.